All right. What's going on, people? Nick Kirby, Shay Neal. Shay, you're just here for another banger of a game, huh?
I'm starting to think I'm the problem, Nick. It's like a 4-game losing streak now when I'm on the show.
Well, with all due respect to Graham Ashcraft, we got to get you on a non-Graham Ashcraft start.
I was going to say, you got to bring me in for an Abbott or Green start or something.
Yeah. Well, hey, still a hell of a week for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, I mean, if we're complaining about winning 2 out of 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers, Nick, that tells you the expectations are higher, and that's exciting.
I'm not sure the expectations should ever be sweep the Dodgers.
I know, right? Like, are we like we have to be like an 110 win team if you're like, I'm mad we didn't sweep the Dodgers.
Yeah. I mean, to be honestly, like, we should never like even expect to like sweep the Oakland A's. Like, that's not how.
Any team west of like Kansas City, the Reds should probably never expect to sweep.
Yeah. Oh man, mouth cop, come on, brother.
He's not wrong though. There's some science behind it.
It was so good.
If somebody in the chat can make a chart of like times I've been on the show and the win-loss record, I'd appreciate that. Because we started off hot. We started off with like 3 or 4 in a row, and now we're in a rut. I'm the Graham Ashcraft of the show.
The Graham Ashcraft of the show. Well, the funny thing is the first show you came on was in spring training, and Graham Ashcraft just like threw like the most
like 6
incredible spring training game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I peaked early, Nick.
Oh. Well, we'll definitely once this final hits, we'll definitely ask Shay's thoughts on the overall week and talk a little bit more about that because you can never talk about those last 2 games more, and we'll look ahead to the Cardinals series. Should be a good series for the Reds. Cardinals are in a desperate spot, so be a fun series to watch, kind of how things go. And as soon as we get off the air, I'm going to see Blippi tonight. So
there you go.
Yeah, gonna see Blippi. So let's do it. I agree. I'm really looking forward to this Cardinals series. I think this is gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. 8:15 game tomorrow night. Oh, and that's it. There you go. That's the old ball game, folks. Well, let's do a show. We'll try to keep your spirits up. We'll try to have a good time, as always.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the world. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! Red win! Line to right field!
All right, what's going on? Nick Kirby, Shay Neal here on Chatterbox Reds live post game. Not as exciting as the last two nights, but a good week nonetheless for the Reds. Reds fall 6-0 to the Dodgers on Wednesday afternoon. My guy Shay, how we doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. First of all, we got to address something in the chat. I had somebody say, I think it was Sir Boy, but I'm not positive. But somebody said I'm a closet Chiefs fan. I'm wearing a Joe Burrow jersey as we do this show. I am the furthest thing from a closet Chiefs fan. I can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs.
Uh-oh. Shots fired on Kansas radio right there.
They know that. They know that about me. They don't like it, but they know it.
All right. And they still accept you?
No, not really.
That's why you're on Chatterbox Reds on a Thursday.
You're right. That's
All right. Well, let's tell you what went down. We'll talk about this game. We'll try to have some fun along the way. And I don't know. Have a good time today. All right. Reds, Dodgers, final of 3 games at Great American Ballpark. 24,000 in attendance. That's a nice weekday crowd. The Elly effect in full swing. Graham Ashcraft, he looked really good early. Pitched 2 scoreless innings, but in the top of the third, Ashcraft was hit in the leg on a ball that was hit 105 right back at him. Ashcraft did stay in the game. You know he's a gamer, but then he allowed a hit by pitch, a single, a hard line out, a walk, and another single before being pulled. Ashcraft left with the Reds down 3-0. Fernando Cruz came in, got out of Ashcraft's jam in the 3rd inning, but then he allowed 3 more runs in the 4th to make it 6-0 Dodgers. And honestly, none of that really mattered because Clayton Kershaw was Clayton Kershaw today. Kershaw 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Did get a pretty generous outside corner, but you can't really fault that. He was just outstanding today, and as good as the Reds offense has been of late, it was just a Clayton Kershaw show at Great American Ballpark. Elly De La Cruz 1 for 4, 3 strikeouts. One of them was pretty, I would say, not his fault, but I digress. Matt McClain, solid day again. Just what we come to expect, 2 for 4 with a double. Kevin Newman 1 for 3, a double and a walk. And then after Cruz, Alex Young, Eduardo Salazar, and Ian Jabot all did not allow a run. Salazar and Jabot each with 2 scoreless innings. So the Reds bullpen overall continues to pitch well, but unfortunately a loss for the Reds. Reds take 2 of 3, and they'll be off to St. Louis tomorrow. Overall, just general thoughts about this game, Shay, maybe a little bit about the Reds offense before we kind of talk a little bit about Graham Ashcraft.
Yeah, well, first of all, I saw a couple people on social media the last 24 hours or so, and I'm sure a part of it was the high of back-to-back walk-off wins, but I saw a lot of people say that, Clayton Kershaw's past his prime and that we're not getting the Kershaw of 2013 and we're going to sweep the Dodgers and blah, 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 blah. Now, I agree with half of that. This is not the Clayton Kershaw of 2013 in the sense that he's not the best pitcher in the league anymore. But as we saw today, Nick, Clayton Kershaw is still pretty damn good. And he might not have the snap on the curveball that he used to have, but he's still pretty dang good. I knew it would be kind of a tough day against a really tough lefty like that. But like we said before the end of the game, Nick, if we're talking about being frustrated with winning 2 out of 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers, that is sky high expectations. I love it because, just a couple weeks ago, we'd be like, I'm happy with 1 out of 3 against the Dodgers. And now we're happy. Or now there's people that are upset that we only won 2 out of 3. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah. I mean, really, you look back now at what happened on Tuesday night with the big comeback. Last night, another big comeback. This was a game that really you never had a chance start to finish, just kind of the way it went. And so it just makes those performances the last 2 days just really stand out all the more. So that's good. Graham Ashcraft, I don't know what to make of him. Like, I thought he looked pretty good in this game. I'm assuming most of what happened in the 3rd inning was because he got hit. I mean, he was pretty visibly like limping off the field. So I don't want to crush him too much for today. But it felt like this start was kind of like that. Okay, Graham, you got to figure it out. You're going to get sent down. And now we're kind of like stuck in limbo almost.
Yeah.
Are you kind of in the same boat here?
I think it was certainly a step up. I think he looked more comfortable today. I think his last, 5-6 starts, he was just getting beat around, and there was really no other way to put it. Today, he gave up some hits. He walked a couple guys, but I think it's important to keep in mind just like with Williamson and just like with who pitched the opener? I'm sorry, the series opener.
Abbott.
Andrew Abbott. Did Abbott make his debut against the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the last
no. That was against the Brewers. I mean, my days because we had the Monday
I know. I'm
series,
starting to mix them up too.
It threw me off.
But Williamson, I know we were talking about it with Williamson yesterday. And Weaver, that's who it was, Weaver. But with Weaver and Williamson, this Dodgers lineup's really freaking good. I think Ashcraft gave up some hits, put some guys on today, but I think it was more so because he was facing a good lineup and not that he was kind of battling himself like he has been. So I think it was a step forward, but at the same time, like you said, I don't know how much of it in the third inning was because of the line drive off the leg and how much of it was just maybe the second time through the lineup they were seeing him better. So I think no matter what, I think we're going to see him get put on the 10-day IL. And we'll reassess it when we get there. But I do think that one of the keys to getting Graham Ashcraft back, they started today, and I think they need to have Kirk Casale as his battery mate for his next couple starts.
Yeah, that's a good point there. He didn't allow an extra base hit today, which, for a guy that was really just getting rocked, I mean, that was a positive. We had talked about it felt like Ashcraft might be going on the Phantom IL. Well, he might not even need the Phantom IL. It might be, 10 days to kind of hopefully there's no broken bone or anything like that. I don't think there was, just the way that he was still able to pitch. I think it was just probably, I mean, obviously if you take, 105 off your leg, you're going to have a hard time walking around for at least a little bit. I was
going to say, yeah.
But
you hit the bumper of your car with your shin and it hurts. I can't imagine 105 feels pretty good.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe a 10-day break. He goes down and makes a couple starts in rehab in AAA on a rehab assignment. It doesn't feel as like it's not a demotion. He can take what he was able to do in the first 2 innings against the Dodgers today. Hopefully, what he could take in a couple rehab starts. And we're just speculating at this point. There's nothing, official or anything on that. But take that, build some confidence, and come back up and be the pitcher that we saw the first month of the season, because that guy was really, really, really good. Let's give you, Shay, a chance to talk about the last 2 nights at Great American Ballpark. Just 2 of the most enjoyable nights that I've ever had as a Reds fan, and I really honestly don't think that's hyperbole.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. You're absolutely right. I came in here today joking that you and Trace got to have all the fun the last couple nights, and I come in to mop up the shutout. But no, it was an absolute blast. I mean, I've never been more. I feel like I haven't been glued to a Reds game like that in 2-3 years, and I was back-to-back nights. I think one of the coolest things about it was I have friends and family, of course, that are Reds fans, but not Reds fans to the extent that maybe you and I are, Nick. But I got a call from my buddy from college after the game on Tuesday, after they walked off the first time against Ferguson, or I guess it was Shelby Miller when they brought him in. But after the McLean walk-off, he calls me and he says, "How many sick days do you have?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "How many sick days do you have?" I'm like, 8 or 9 left for the year. And he's like, "Well, take 2, fly out here, and we're gonna go watch Elly tomorrow." I'm like, that'd be really tempting if I didn't have to use them to go home anyway. But no, it's just exciting because it's like you and Trace talked about. It feels different. There's guys that you just see the talent on the field. It's already more talent than what has been in Cincinnati. And it's a bunch of 21, 22, 23-year-olds that we know are going to get better and better over the next 3-4 years. Elly De La Cruz just turned 21 less than 6 months ago. How good, if he's this good at 21, how good is he going to be at 25? I'm thinking like MVP of the league good. And so it's just really exciting. And then we started talking about it in the spring, Nick. I'm a big Will Benson fan. Love his power, love his speed. I think even if he ends up being a 4th outfielder on this roster, I think he's a valuable contributor. And obviously we know he got off to a horrible start to the season, but he's really looked good since getting called back up. And last night was, the biggest weight of the world off his shoulders. And it was really cool to see. He got all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been awesome. How about Matt McClain today? Just I mean, this guy, it's all about Elly right now, and it should be. But Matt McClain is just playing incredible. I mean, this guy 2 for 4, a double today. He took an extra base. The kid plays his tail off. He's hitting 354 with a 935 OPS. Just insane.
Yeah. And you almost feel bad for guys like McClain and CES eventually and Spencer Steer, because naturally all the talk is on Elly, and deservedly so. He's the number one prospect in the sport, depending on where you're looking. But like you said, Matt McClain, I think Trace said it yesterday, Matt McClain has the most hits in the first 20 games of any Reds player ever to start their Reds career in the first 20 games. Spencer Steer has been unbelievable, maybe their best hitter since opening day. And, you know, these guys are almost like an afterthought now because of Elly De La Cruz, where Spencer Steer's hitting 285 with an OPS creeping up on 900. And we're talking about him like he's the 5th, 6th best hitter on the team. That tells you it's a nice up-and-coming, really good team.
One thing I also noticed in this game, and I know Tyler Stevenson wasn't batting directly behind Elly De La Cruz, but Elly got on base, and then I think Steer maybe like a first pitch fly out or something. It was a quick at bat, and then Tyler Stevenson got a chance to bat, and Elly stole a base with Stevenson at the plate. And I really liked Tyler Stevenson batting behind Elly. It feels like that could maybe be something that really helps Tyler Stevenson get going this year as a guy that relies on putting the ball in play, hitting the gap. I really like that dynamic. I hope that David Bell was watching that too and going, "Ooh, that looks really good to me." I don't know. Did you get a chance to see that? What's your thoughts on a guy like Elly with his speed, maybe being a guy that could really help get Tyler Stevenson going this year?
Yeah, I like it. And obviously David Bell knows more about baseball than I will. You know, David Bell has more baseball knowledge in his right pinky finger than I will in my whole life. But I think you're absolutely right in the sense that Tyler Stevenson, I think why he was struggling so much, especially with the swing and miss, was because he really didn't have a ton of lineup protection. He was hitting around guys like, Will Benson, or back when he was struggling, and Stuart Fairchild and Kevin Newman, and, guys that really don't strike fear into a starting pitcher on another team. I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm not going to beat a dead horse and say that Kevin Newman's a bad baseball player. I know that's a common topic on this show, but he's a fine baseball player, but he doesn't put fear in you like a Matt McClain does or like an Elly De La Cruz does. So I think having Tyler Stevenson bat between a guy like Elly and maybe a guy like Spencer Steer, he's going to get more pitches to hit because nobody wants to put Elly on. Nobody wants to, you have to pick somebody to pitch to. Tyler Stevenson probably has the least amount of power out of those three guys, but that could end up leading to the most RBI chances. And I think when Tyler's really dialed in, like we were saying yesterday, I mean, he's one of the best in the business at going the other way. And it looks like he's starting to get that swing back. And I think a big part of it is because McClain and Elly are in that lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. If you're still watching here with us today, please like the stream. That kind of stuff really helps us. Our viewership the last 2 days has been incredible. So we'll probably be down a little bit today, given the fact the Reds lost 6-0 and there wasn't nearly the excitement of the last 2 days. But that's okay. We'll ride the peaks and valleys of the show, and we appreciate everyone. This is when the Reds lose 6-0, the folks in the chat, these are the goats in the chat.
Yeah,
these are
the OGs. Mm-hmm.
These are the guys and girls. We appreciate you. All right, let's check in Reds minor league action today. Louisville already completed. They won 13-6 over Columbus. They they scored a ton of runs late in this game. Christian Encarnacion Strand 2 for 4 with a walk. Joey Votto did not play. Got a day off today on his rehab. I believe it was just a scheduled day off. And your favorite player, Jason Vossler, 3 for 5, hit his 5th home run in AAA. I think he has 8 home runs total between Triple and the bigs.
Man,
free Vossler, am I right?
Hey, that might be the guy that hits behind Elly.
Yeah. Chattanooga will take on Birmingham at 7:15. Dayton will take on Cedar Rapids at 7, and then Daytona, they will start at 4 o'clock. They're picking up a suspended game that they're down 5-1 in the 4th inning. due to wet grounds last night, and then they'll play another game after that at 6. So if time allows, I'll try to add a little bit of Reds minor league talk and give you an update on what happened into the podcast feed tomorrow morning. Let's talk about a guy that I think, so it was mentioned on the broadcast and by all the Reds reporters that TJ Friedl very likely might get activated on Saturday. And I think that would be huge for this team. If you're watching here with us, Reds will face a lefty tomorrow in Jordan Montgomery, but then it's righty right after that. So that could be a really good chance for Will Benson to maybe build some confidence. Those are a lot of right-handed pitchers outside of Miles Michaelis that are pitchers that you could have a lot of success off of. And then TJ Friedl would just be so huge to add to that mix. I'd love to have Friedl, mixed in here with Elly and McLean and India and Stevenson and Steer. It all of a sudden looks like a pretty decent lineup.
Yeah, it definitely does. And like you said, a lot of righties coming up on the slate, and I'm excited for that because of what you just said. Will Benson, I think he's really I'd like to see some more at-bats from him because what we've seen the last 2 weeks or so looks really good. And I think having an outfield against right-handed pitchers of Benson in left, Friedl in center, Fraley in right, I think that looks really, really good against right-handed pitching. And so we'll see what happens, over the next couple of days. Of course, Jordan Montgomery, pretty tough left-hander, goes, he's a big pitcher, 6'5", 6'6", has a pretty good changeup and curveball, but they did do good against Jordan Montgomery their last time they faced him. And then a lot of good opportunities here. Wainwright's had a tough start to the year. Greinke's been okay, but the Royals can't score. Jordan Lyles is 0-10 statistically, the worst start to a career by any Royal in the history of the franchise. So coming up looks like a good chance for the Reds to, twirl off 4-2, 5, maybe even 5-1. This is a nice little stretch to get some momentum.
Absolutely. And then Reds Cardinals, like we mentioned, coming up tomorrow, 8:15 tomorrow night on Bally Sports Ohio. The Cardinals coming in, they are just 1-5 in June. They actually ended a 5-game losing streak in their last game on Wednesday. They are off today, 0-3-2 in their last 5 series. But I never can take the Cardinals too lightly. Looking at that team, their Pythagorean record is 32-31. They actually have a +1 run differential, so they probably are a team that is due for a little bit of positive regression. Let's hope it starts next week if it's going to start for them. But like Shay mentioned, Jordan Montgomery, Reds did hit him pretty well. It was actually most walks he's allowed in a game this season. 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. Stuart Fairchild hit a home run against him. India was 2 for 4 with a double. Matt McLean was 2 for 4 with a double. So Montgomery's had a really up and down season. His ERA at 4.23 is probably a little inflated. He had 2 starts where he allowed 7 and 6 earned runs. So he's had a lot of really good starts mixed in with that. So we'll kind of see what that looks like. And then Ben Lively, the Ben Lively show moves on. I thought he pitched solid in his last outing. He did allow 5 earned runs, but he was able to get through 7 innings. I've just been so impressed with how deep he's been able to go into these starts. It felt like Ben Lively's guys was coming up probably expecting to get like 4 innings out of him, right? And it feels like every time he goes out, he's getting into the 6th and 7th inning. Lively also faced the Cardinals already this year, pitched really well. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts in that game. Brendan Donovan and Paul Goldschmidt homered on him. And the one other note on Ben Lively, he has allowed an on-base percentage of just .256 this season. That is tied for the 12th best in Major League Baseball among pitchers with 23 innings. So, yeah.
Yep. I'm telling you, a little bit of a bump in the road last time out, but the Ben Lively Cy Young Tour rolls on into St. Louis. So he's been everything the Reds could have hoped he could be, because you're absolutely right. I think when they first called him up, they thought he might be a 3-4 inning long relief guy that maybe, his first couple of starts, Nick, they used an opener for him.
Yeah.
But he's been fantastic. That slider's a really good swing and miss pitch, which I really didn't think he had when he was called up. I didn't think he had a swing and miss pitch. And he's shown he can locate that fastball, which really makes up for the lack of velocity. He's really been a nice pitcher, and going up against a lineup like the Cardinals, they're no pushover, but I think he has a chance to have some nice success tomorrow.
Yeah, really looking forward to this series. This will be just awesome. The Reds to go in and take 2 out of 3. And then after that, Shay, who do the Reds got next?
Well, the Kansas City Royals, a team that's currently duking out with the Oakland A's for the worst team in professional baseball.
All right. So I should expect the Reds to get swept in Kansas City, right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but yes, they probably will work out where the Royals play their best baseball of the year in that series.
They're due, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
All right. Well, Shay, you got any other final parting thoughts before we wrap this bad boy up and I go see Blippi?
Well, I think, what we learned this week is, it's a new era of Reds baseball. It's a fun era of Reds baseball. And I'm excited to keep it rolling into the summer months. Like you and Trace have said, I don't know if this year is going to be a playoff push or if they're going to eventually kind of, lose the wheels on the wagon, but it's going to be fun to watch, and it's going to be fun to watch these guys grow. And I think something that we've learned over the last couple of weeks with Kevin Newman and Will Benson, Stuart Fairchild at times, I mean, bullying works. We're calling these guys out and they're playing better. So I think we just got to keep bullying the guys that aren't playing well. And eventually we're going to end up in the postseason.
Bullying works. If you didn't take anything away from our show, make sure you take that away, kids. Well, Shay, thanks as always for helping us today. Really appreciate you. You do an awesome job. And we appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Last night hit over 2,000. That was before the show. I don't even know where it's at right now. Hit over 2,000 people that watched. Podcast was in the top 40 among baseball podcasts. That's all because of you folks that tune in, that help share our show, that have just been so kind to us and have given us a chance. And we'll keep this ride going as long as we can. Good days coming for the Cincinnati Reds. If you haven't yet, if you are a new to Chatterbox Sports, make sure you subscribe to Chatterbox Sports on YouTube. Hit that bell and turn on notifications. Got a couple questions. But do you guys go live after every single game? Yes, we do. We do try to go live after every single game. There will be some day games where maybe we can't go live instantly right when the game ends. Like on Mother's Day, we decided to go, late at night to be somewhat decent husbands. And but you'll get, if you hit that bell, you turn notifications, it'll tell you whenever we go live, so you can jump right in. And then, of course, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll keep you updated about that as well. And then, of course, Chatterbox Reds, available in podcast form everywhere you get podcasts. Make sure you are subscribed. Leave us a kind 5-star review. Got a really nice one the other day. I should read it on one of the next shows. Really a kind comment. Really do appreciate that stuff. And all the messages, everything we received. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I know Trace appreciates it as well. Well, hope you have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. We will see you late on Friday night towards the end of Reds Cardinals. Go Reds.